Listener, hi Sherry, I read your mention global warming. I believe it has a lot to do with our climate, but I believe much stronger that global warming is what creates our global sinning is what creates our freaky climate. Yeah, but also, their need to control the weather, their need to control play gods, and what they're going to do is blow up our atmosphere. And so that's the real bang that's coming. What's the superpowers of the elect? What all can we do? The superpowers of the elect is learning how to be led by the Most High God and hearing His voice. We're not X-Men. We don't need to be X-Men. Yahushua is going to destroy all of Satan's armies in Armageddon with the words of his mouth. Do you think we need nukes? Missiles? I was wondering if you have a take on Kobenbach, the Black Pope, resigning. Some people are saying they don't think he's resigning. He's just having somebody else take the forefront for him for a while. Don't really care who's Black Pope. I was reading the other day about how they elected a new one in. I don't think once you get elected you just quit and resign. Because you're basically Satan's right-hand man on earth. Does all the bidding for Satan. Satan speaks through him, acts through him. I don't particularly care about Kobenbach himself, and so, the position's there. It exists. So if anybody else has a question for the show, you can send it to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. Question from an IMer. The economy is already horrific. Here in Michigan and other places of USA, do you think they will collapse it on purpose so they can bring in one world government? They're not ready to yet. They're not ready to collapse the economy, which is why they haven't. They're probably waiting on Maitreya for them to arrive, because that's when they're going to introduce this whole age of Aquarius, this whole fifth dimension thing, and the United States will align with Maitreya at that time. I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know. They could go ahead and collapse the economy at any time because they need martial law here. They need chaos. I don't know what they're waiting on. What's the economy? Maybe he wants to keep it propped up so that in case we need to go to war in the Middle East for some reason. Because the Illuminati has plans. Their own blueprint is to have India at war with Pakistan, Israel at war with Iran and Syria, and then the United States getting bogged down with the war in North Korea. And Hong Kong even getting involved. I don't know. There's that Beijing or Tokyo, whatever that is over there. I mean, you've got 4 or 5 different routes here. And then when you have the Korean peninsula, that whole peninsula over there, nuked and on fire, and then you bring in the Son of God. Then you bring in the Sananda show. Kind of like having a forced and a fake Armageddon type scenario. They're kind of like creating their own Armageddon. And so you really don't know which plan they're going to do until they do it. They may go ahead and forestall having any more wars. You just don't know. You just don't know until they do it. That's why you just have to know all of their different plans and routes. That way when they act, you know exactly which one they're going by, which one they're doing. Because that's always been a long time Illuminati thing, to have this whole World War III scenario going on. Maitreya is going to cause that himself when he comes and starts coming after the Christians. And so, kind of like dominating, taking over the world for Islam type thing, because he's angry at the church, at the bride, and he starts coming after the Lord's people here. And nobody here prepared because they all were waiting for the rapture. Order out of chaos, that will use fear in order to acquire more wealth and power. And that's what they're doing now. Oh, I remember what I was going to mention, and I forgot to before I hang it up for the night. The bird flu in China and Ebola, also in China and India. Both of these countries that are going to be having problems with Ebola and bird flu, totally orchestrated by the Ascended Masters. Problem, solution. They're going to cause this huge problem with bird flu and Ebola, and then they're going to offer their solution with this magical Kool-Aid to heal everybody. So just watch that happening, folks. Because both of this bird flu and Ebola are plagues created by the aliens to begin with. One last question from a listener. A lot of people are saying that Bush will not leave office for war attack, will allow him to implement emergency powers and stay in. Yay, nay. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that he'll never leave office. Definitely a possibility. Because I see when the terrestrial Jesus is here in Maitreya, sometimes you'll still see him in power. Other times you see Hillary in power. Other times you see Obama as the king. And so you don't know. It's going to be one of the three. I guess we just have to watch and see. Obama was never meant to be the king. He's just supposed to be a puppet to get Hillary elected. But you never know. He's kind of liking... you see him, that look in his eyes. He's liking that little power trip he's on, even if he is just a lizard. The military has created excuses for the Texas sighting last week when 300 people were witnesses. Do you think that this craft are fallen angels or God's angels preparing to rapture the elect? God's angels don't need UFOs to rapture the elect. Definitely the fallen angels following their own heads up to their own people on the New Age forums, warning, or not warning, but telling them there's going to be a lot of flybys this year. They're going to do a lot of flybys, and so they're doing their own disclosure, kind of waking up people. Here we are, we're here, type thing. And so that's all that is. They're doing flybys, and I see it in the codes. They're patrolling. They're patrollers. They're doing flybys. John 19:40, then took they the body of Jesus and wound it in linen clothes with the spices of the manner of Jesus to bury. Yeah, I didn't think they embalmed. But interesting that the Masoretic text in the Bible Codes program has them embalming him. About the locusts for the show. These locusts be the insectoid aliens or an actual type of alien body that the fallen angels or no children of them demons use. Maybe they are the insectoid things. You guys have seen the gross-looking ones with the long antennas coming out of their heads. All I know is this Maitreya aligns with them, and so they have to be more than just bugs. These little pesky locust bugs we see, or buzzards or whatever. It has to be a little bit more than that. That's just symbolic, because he aligns with them, and why would you align with bugs? And the chief over them being Satan himself, and so... I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see if the Lord makes that a little bit more clear. It gives me a vision of what these locusts look like. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm asking him for. Give me one of the annex a couple of years back, and that was breathtaking. So maybe we'll just need to see what these locusts look like. So until then, everybody, hopefully by next week I'll have some more information on what these locusts are. Really can't commit to what they are right now. And what coastline will be hit, the east or the west, by a melting and sinking glacier, which causes a tsunami wave that's going to hit one of our coasts. And so I see Pacific in the codes a lot, and something about our Navy. And so I'm just thinking it very well could be the West Coast. And it reminds me of a vision that I had a couple of years ago of Los Angeles just sinking right in the water. And thousands of people being on this highway, and just stopped. They can't get anywhere, and they step outside their cars, and they look, and just this wave just takes over everybody. They can't get away from it. It's just sudden. All you can do is have maybe 10 seconds, 15 of seeing a huge wave coming at you and figuring out how the heck a big wave's coming at you when you're 20 miles away from the ocean. And so that very well could come into effect. Well, I hope not. But again, just another heads up. Anyway, until next week, everybody. Get more into this next week. Hopefully, the Lord will reveal more information, do some clarifying over the week on some of the things coming. Until then, everybody, God bless.